Uh, Thatcher here in the back, the first home run, it was hit kind of high and it just kind of drifted. Can you just talk about how you bounce back from that and move forward from that?
Yeah, it's like, so what? You know, we're going to get back, keep making pitches, and, you know, I'm going to live and die in the strike zone.
Brayden, what were you looking for in that home run?
You know, I was the leadoff of the inning. I was just trying to put up a good at-bat and get on base, and it was a 2-0 count, and he grooved me a fastball, and I put a good swing on it.
Back middle.
Thatcher, when did you know that you were going to come in after the rain delay? And, I mean, any kind of mental preparation that goes into that, if you could talk about that.
Yeah, I knew with the delay, there was a chance. As soon as I heard that, before any coaches told me, I was getting mentally prepared to go in. So when they told me, I was pretty excited. I was very excited to get the ball, and so I was just going to be ready to start it back up until they told me I wasn't or I was, you know.
Right here to the right.
Yeah, Thatcher, I mean, obviously 3 innings had already passed, so it's technically a relief outing, but there had been so much time, it seemed like you were actually kind of warming up maybe like you normally would as a starter. What kind of goes into that, your routine in particular, and is that kind of how you wanted to then approach it?
Yeah, I mean, when Ty took the mound, I was ready. I was going to keep my body ready to come in and out of relief, but with the delay, I had plenty of time, so it's just about staying on top of the routine. And you know, I do the same routine basically every day, so regardless of my role, I'll be ready to go.
Yeah, Brayden, going through the rain delay, y'all had 1 hit. Your next 5 or 6 hits were, I think, an extra base hit and 4 or 5 straight home runs. How do you explain that? I mean, did Jobu have anything to do with that?
Of course he did. Yeah, I mean, you know, we were just like Coach said, we were having good at bats. You know, it wasn't coming together, and you know, we put it all together after the rain delay, and we were putting good swings on balls. And you know, we have a very strong team. Excuse me. We have a very strong team, and you know, once we hit the ball hard, they're going to go.
Brayden, was there any sort of adjustment period for the offense just because you haven't seen these guys and they might have a slightly different style just being in the Pac-12? Like, how much of adjustment was that for you guys offensively?
You know, we didn't really think about that at all. You know, our opponent is nameless and faceless, as Coach tells us all the time. And, you know, no matter who's on the mound, we have a plan. And, you know, as long as we stick to that plan, things are, you know, we believe they're going to go our way.
Hey, Brayden, as someone from Louisiana, what did it mean to you to hit that game-winning home run in this magnitude of the game at the box?
Awesome, man. You know, I'm just so proud of my team. I'm happy I could come through for my team. You know, I'm just very blessed and very happy that we came out with a win.
Yeah, Thatcher, I mean, he's come through in some late-game situations for you guys all year, but Gavin Guidry getting those final 3 outs, just the poise and confidence that it shows in a freshman to go out there and do that.
Yeah, poise and confidence, just like you said, that so nails. Just believes in himself, believes in his stuff, and, you know, he's cut out for that. So he picked us all up. That was pretty electric. I'm super happy for him, and, you know, he's going to do that for a long time for us, so really cool.
Thatcher, I think you matched a career high in 12 strikeouts from your time at UCLA. I just want to know, like, what do you think is the difference between you at the beginning of this year playing for LSU and now? Like, what's the difference?
Yeah, I think you know, I've said it, I've touched on it, but, you know, it all starts over the plate. You know, it all starts with strike one and getting the leadoff guy out, and if we don't, we move on in the next pitch. So it's one pitch at a time, and, you know, I think I've grown from my outings, good or bad, and flush them the next day and just get back to work.
In the back.
Hey, Brayden, just the confidence that a game like this can kind of instill, and you guys, you know, have to figure some things out as you go along. And I know it was a long day, but just what can this do for the team as you kind of push forward?
You know, baseball is a long game. It has its ups and downs. You know, as long as we stick to our plan and, you know, focus on what we need to do, it's, you know, we feel like we're going to come out on top.
Again in the back.
Brayden, yourself and the other leaders on the team, I guess the mentality going to bed tonight to finish the job tomorrow, how do you think you guys will handle that collectively?
Yeah, you know, tomorrow is the most important game of the year, so we're going to come in entirely focused and, you know, planning to do our job.
Take one more for the student athletes.
Right, and just the job Josh did, and then Dylan to kind of get the thing going, right? I mean, you had one hit up until that point. Could you speak about those kind of guys coming through?
Yeah, they started it for us. They're both amazing players, and hitting is contagious. So, once they started it, it set it off for us.
Okay, we'll go ahead and release the student athletes and then open questions for Jay. Thanks, guys.
The game where you got Riley Cooper up to warm up, but you kind of left Thatcher out there to kind of work through it. Just talk about that.
Yeah, the rain delay threw a little bit of a wrench in it, and it really condenses the schedule of this thing. So you have to be, we're always deliberate, but you have to be really deliberate in how you're going to use guys. And once we pushed in with Thatcher, not only did we need outs, we needed length. And I just didn't think they were picking him up. It was a great swing by Turley, obviously. The rest of them, he just kind of scattered the hits, even the first homer, So I liked how he was executing, and for me, it just made more sense to stay with him.
Right here on the right, Coach.
Just the offense, kind of picking it up there with Josh, starting it off. I mean, just could you talk about what, his kind of late emergence has meant to this team and him coming through in those moments there?
Yeah, I really trust Josh to take the type of at-bats that we need, and this time of year is just about maturity, and he shows a lot of that. I think he's way overperformed his season from a numbers standpoint, but if you dig into the contribution and some of our better performances and wins, you kind of find a common thread, with him in there, whether it was Texas A&M, Arkansas, Tennessee, tonight, Georgia. And I really trust him a lot.
Over here to your left, Jay.
Coach, way it was looking today, it looked 5 home runs. It kind of reminded me in the 90s of LSU, the way they hit the home runs out, especially in key moments. Did the home runs kind of reminiscent to LSU in the 90s, the way they hit that ball?
Well, I hope so, because that was the best college baseball run of all time, of at least recent memory. And so anything that emulates Coach Bertman and that time here and those great players, that's a really good thing. And I appreciate you saying that, even if it's just for one game today.
Hey, Coach, do you think this game became more important after the rain delay, just condensing the schedule even more? Potentially, if you lose this, you have to win 3 in a row in just a day and a half. Do you think it became more important after that weather delay?
Well, my message was the exact opposite, that we can win this game winning tonight, we can win the tournament winning tonight, and if we don't win tonight, we can still win the tournament. And I believe that, and so that was my message in the rain delay, and so go play. Because, the success of tonight's not final, and if there was failure in terms of the result, it wasn't going to be fatal either. So I actually looked at it the opposite way.
Okay, we're going to go in the back and then up here in the front.
Just Thatcher's ability to maintain his composure, show some maturity with the things that he had to work around and still find it.
Yeah, I think it was great. I think, they had the home run right off the bat, and then Forrester doubled. And then he really got himself in gear and minimized the damage right there. I thought that was huge. And then twice they had first and second, 1 out when I went out to the mound, and he went strikeout both times. And when you think about a 1-run game, leaving the traffic there and getting himself reset with that type of pitchability gives him a chance to be successful, and he was really successful tonight. That's one of the best performances I've seen in a long time.
Hard to pick apart a win like this, but 0 for 3 with the bases loaded tonight. Feels like that's kind of been a trend in the past month. What would you say has kind of been difficult for this team to drive runners in? Did you feel like there was something left on the table?
Nothing. I don't have anything to say about that.
Okay, here. Was Thatcher going to him today kind of always in your mind, or was it necessitated by the rain delay and needing to get some of that length?
No, he was up and ready for this game today for sure. This thing's played out, I would say a unique way, but I've played 2 regionals in the state of Louisiana, and it's literally been the same exact thing with rain and weather, and you have to account for everything. And so in accounting for everything, he was available Friday in our first game, and he was available today. And he did a great job tonight. And I think it was great maturity to get himself ready to go that early in the game. Now, granted, we had time, and the good thing about the rain delay is he could treat it like a start where we were able to get through his whole routine. There was a point in time, where could we potentially get Ty back out there versus the point where you couldn't do that, and the delay just became too long to put him back out there. But we still had enough time to get Thatcher ready as if he was starting the game. And, 1-run game for this team is not a big deal.
All the way in the back, Coach.
Coach, when you're playing your most important games of the year, yet you have all this downtime because of the rain delays and everything, how important is it for the guys and how challenging is it for them to keep their focus and, stay engaged when they're sitting around for so long?
Well, they're the most committed people to winning in anywhere, and so it's really not hard. We did have 2 meetings during the time to stay engaged, and then had a good plan once we got an idea of where the start time was going to be, of what we wanted to do, and really proud of them for that. It's not easy to do. It's a little easier right now, obviously. This tournament commands their attention, and they did a great job of it. I mean, they showed a lot of maturity in that. And, it didn't go good right at the start. I mean, we gave up the homer and another run right there. But then to bounce back, I think there's a lot of key at-bats tonight. Josh Pearson's triple with 2 strikes was a big deal. That was a big-time deal right there.
Right here in the front, Coach.
Did you get an education on rain delays coming to Louisiana? Because obviously you never had any in Arizona. But
yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of experience that comes from coaching 8 years in San Diego and 6 years in Tucson. It just doesn't happen.
To your right.
I know he was around 70, 75 pitches. Do you envision any scenario where Ty might be able to help y'all in a spot tomorrow, or?
Probably not. Yeah.
Right in the front here, Coach.
It seemed like Oregon State was struggling with Thatcher Hurd's breaking ball. Is that kind of why you went to Gavin Guidry in that last inning?
Well, I liked where we were at in the order to go to him. But more important than any of that is I like the person a lot. And, you've probably heard our players talk about it. One thing is, the situation can never become bigger than your plan, and that's a guy I really trust a lot. I trust a lot of guys, but I really trust Gavin. And Turley's a dangerous hitter, obviously. A lot of power. He turned out a lot of money to go to college, and really had to execute, and he executed really well to strike him out. And then I actually thought the next hit by Kane was a good job of hitting by Kane. But then poise, and then we got Casper on the ground, and that was a great play by Ben Napolt. And then with the pinch hitter Peterson, he just got back to executing after the video review. So he's just made for this deal.
We'll take a couple more. One here in the middle.
Hey, Coach. Gavin loves being in those late game situations, and is shown tonight. What do you have to say about his composure and maturity, especially as a true freshman?
Yeah, it's elite. There's a lot I could say about him, and I picked up on it really quick. I mean, I think I flew into town on a Saturday when I first got here, and I said, hey, you need to get over here. And he was in my office literally Sunday morning. And, you could tell just by sitting with him and his family for a few minutes that this guy has some serious confidence and makeup. And I think you have to have that. If you're going to pitch at the front of the weekend as a starter, you obviously have to have great stuff. You got to have that X factor piece. To be a closer or to finish games of that magnitude, you have to have it, and he's got it.
Back middle.
Coach, sorry to ask another rain delay question, but what do you guys, as far as nutrition goes, What do you guys eat depending on time? Because there's jokes like, what did these guys eat coming out the rain delay, smashing 5 home runs?
7-course meals. I spend our entire budget on finding players and feeding players, so they eat good. There's not an LSU baseball player that's hungry. We load them up.
Last one on the left here.
Coach, how you feel going into tomorrow? You just only used one pitcher in relief. It seems like you still got a lot of bullets in the chamber going into tomorrow's game.
Well, you feel good about it, and I feel good about the way they executed last weekend in Hoover. I feel for the most part we pitched really well at Georgia too, and the Tuesday game before that. So it's not an aberration at all. I mean, we're talking 7, 8, 9 games, and we're talking about against the best opponents in the country. It's all we play. So excited about the possibilities of where we can go with things tomorrow with the guys that are available.
All right, guys. Thank you very much, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.